efficient pick up or drop a little bit, meaning it's picking up other things than rain or hail at the core of this storm right in there. So I am concerned about that. Let's put another track on it as the storm moves northeast out of Pomeroy in towards Humboldt County. It's moving quickly. It's moving at about 55 miles per hour. There's the circulation center, and this is the direction that it's headed at 55 miles per hour. So Palmer, Rusk, Gilmore City, and into Bradgate as it moves northeast at 55 miles per hour. And are we getting any other reports that you're noticing out across the area?
Again, just the rotating wall cloud that was spotted just southwest of Pocahontas, about 6 miles southwest of Pocahontas County, or Pocahontas, excuse me. That's been the latest.
There's Pomeroy right there.
Quarter-sized hail as well with this cell.
Quarter-sized hail, and that is the area of rotation. Whenever you see these, in this case, pinks and greens next to each other, that is where we have that radar indicated tornado. No ground confirmation just yet. There are a lot of tornado chasers on this event. This has been a highly advertised severe weather outbreak, and there are a lot of eyes on this storm, but you're seeing that area velocity lined up with that classic hook signature just north of Pomeroy as it moves to the north and east. And whenever you see these elements begin to stack up, it is a concern. You see perhaps a little bit of a debris signature right there. No blue, so that is some good news. It could just be contaminated with heavy rain or hail. As we switch the mode here to the impacts, we'll start to see the possibility of very strong winds. This area right in here, north of Pomeroy, that's probably overdone since we're overshooting the radar. This is a cross-section way up in the atmosphere, but it's possible that even 70, 80 mile per hour wind gusts may mix down with the storm as it moves through. The strongest storm that we've seen all day. All right, so this is the north end of Humboldt. So you're looking at this storm approaching. That darkness that you see is actually some of that hail and heavy precipitation with that storm as the storm continues to move to the north and east. So yes, Humboldt, you are under that tornado warning, actually just outside of the tornado warning. But if it's the north side of Humboldt, you're looking at this area of magenta and red. That is where we probably have torrential rain falling and some hail as well. So there it is right there. Storm chaser, out of curiosity, do we have any images of that? Last check, Evan Bunkers was in Pocahontas. Wouldn't have the best view looking south into the storm. Okay, so Storm Chaser has been with Evan Bunkers around the Pocahontas area, and you're not seeing a whole lot right now because I think you're looking into the storm where that wall of water and hail is moving through. Unfortunately, it's not from the south because this is, if you were in Manson, for example, looking to the north and west, that would be the area I'd be looking at. If you have Evan's mic open, Evan, where are you located exactly?
We are currently at the intersection of Iowa Highway 15 and Iowa Highway 3, about 8 miles east of Pocahontas. We were parked for a little bit, but we decided to get out of the way just in case this tornado warning storm that's coming in off Highway 4 were to intercept the area. I didn't feel too safe about that, so I decided to move off towards the east, and we're going to try to get some pictures once we just get a couple miles more towards the east. We did experience pea-sized hail in Pocahontas, but really the lightning has increased by quite a dramatic amount. We're getting a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning right now, and the winds are definitely starting to pick up.
Thanks, Evan. You are our eyes and ears out there. Unfortunately, because of where radars are located, you have this space where they're too far from the radar site to get an accurate reading of what exactly is going on. We're confident that there is a rotating wall cloud. We did see and hear that report. The area of rotation is a little bit more broad, that it's now northeast of Pomeroy, but just as I say that, the latest scan shows it tightening. Typically, we see these storms cycle. They'll start to fade and then they pick back up. That rotation begins to tighten a little bit. We've been talking about that lightning. Every one of these icons is a cloud-to-ground lightning strike just within the last 15 minutes. That's a lot of lightning just in one little area. There is torrential rain falling with these storms as they move through. We mentioned to the north side, near Pocahontas, some of these rainfall rates are approaching and exceeding 5 inches per hour, almost 6 inches per hour. A lot of those gravel roads will become muddy quickly. Maybe the gravel hasn't been poured yet for the season. Be mindful of that. And again, you don't want to stop on the highway if you encounter hail. So remember, it's never good to pull under an overpass and wait things out because you cause traffic congestion. Just again, hunker down. Don't travel right now. If you can hold off. Pomeroy, the good news is the worst of it to the north and east. I will give you the all clear. So if you're listening or if you have loved ones in Pomeroy, the worst of the weather has now moved off to your northeast. But we're still seeing that tight rotation. We'll look at both scans. This is the wind speed and wind direction that we're looking at in intensity. Let me clear this off so you don't see that number. But that's the area northeast of Pomeroy that we've been watching. And we'll put another track on it. The area of rotation moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. This is the area I'm concerned about. This would take it out of the warning. We'll see if they issue a new warning for parts of Humboldt County. But into Gilmore City, 8 minutes away. Into Rutland, 16 minutes, and eventually into Arnold, St. Joseph, and Livermore as it moves to the north and east. So James is in Humboldt. James, what are you seeing out there right now? The storm is now just off to your south and west.
Hey Chris, good evening to you. So sirens just went off in Humboldt. We're kind of right on the edge of that red line, that tornado warning issued by NWS. This was the storm we were just showing you a minute ago. Take a look. This is what it looked like. This is kind of the northeast side of that storm that you're talking about. Pomeroy, a few miles to the southwest. We are looking southwest right now. Kind of that northeast edge there. Have seen some lightning off in the distance as we look southwest, again on the northeast edge of the system itself. Obviously hearing thunder here as well, but no rain in Humboldt. Obviously a lot of rain to our south and west where Evan Bunkers and Bo Bowman currently are in the storm chaser inside that cell. But this is what it looks like kind of on the edge of it. Lots of thunder. The wind basically died down here in Humboldt. The temperature increased about 5 or 6 degrees since we saw you at 5 o'clock. But this is what it looks like right behind me. Sirens went off in Humboldt. They've since stopped. We're on the western edge of Humboldt, looking southwest, again, that northeast edge of the storm there. But still people driving around and whatnot here in Humboldt. Kind of looks like the storm may shift to the south or the north and west. Hard to say. You're the expert when it comes to that, Chris. We are out here live in Humboldt, but that's what it looks like right now. Thunder, lightning, no rain yet here in Humboldt County. Back to you.
Thank you, James. And I know Storm Chaser actually is looking at the storm near Palmer. If we have that shot, if we can do a 2-box, because there was a wall cloud that we're looking at. A little difficult to see right now, but Evan Bunkers just sending that shot in to me via the phone just a moment ago. So this is in the stages of perhaps producing a tornado. No confirmed tornado, but we've seen a rotating wall cloud, and this is the area. The red and green together, in fact the pink and green together, indicating high wind velocities moving at opposite directions as they move through. Thankfully we haven't seen any debris right now, and that is an improvement, and the velocity mode showing that it's a little bit broader right now. It's messy since it is so far away from the radar site. We're a good probably 75 miles as the crow flies away, but we still want you to be safe and take shelter if you're in the path of this storm. You're not also seeing that classic hook. It's not wrapping around. You do see at least somewhat of a hook, but not it hooking back in, right? So that corkscrew look, we're not seeing right now, at least at the moment. But look at that, certainly north of Highway 15 or west of Highway 15, north of Highway 3 near Pocahontas. That is a pretty mean-looking hail core. And we may see some quarter-size hail out of that as it moves to the north and east, right along Highway 15. You're also seeing some torrential rain. And what else are we seeing?
Still seeing just reports of hail. There's been upwards of about an inch in diameter of hail, quarter-sized hail, I should say, from this storm in Pocahontas County. And that's the latest that we've gotten so far from them.
Okay, Ann, thank you. Still seeing a lot of lightning, which means the storm is still very intense and may be picking up some steam or may cycle again, where you'll have that tighter rotation around that center. We'll move this so you can see it. These are the list of arrival times into Gilmore City, into Rutland, into Arnold, and into Livermore. You can actually see some of the raindrops coming down near Gilmore City. That is hail, okay. They look pretty big to be raindrops. Yep, and you actually just saw it bounce right there. That is near the hail core, and Gilmore City, even though it's 8 minutes away, that's the rotation. You're starting to see the heavy rain and that hail associated with this storm as it moves to the north and east. Can we get Evan? Can we talk to Evan about the size hail that he's seeing out there? Wow, listen to that. Evan, can you hear us?
On?
Yeah, you have some hail going on. I can see it bouncing.
Yeah, the hail is definitely increasing in size. We're now at marble size, and it is increasing. And oh, that was a good one. We are keeping an eye on this wall cloud just to the south of us right now, and it's still facing we're facing towards Palmer right now, where the camera's pointing. We might be moving out of our position here in just a few minutes. We're just a little bit west of Gilmore City. Cloud to ground lightning, not much wind right now, but we are seeing that marble-sized hail. Nothing bigger than that right now, but we are getting pelted with that marble-sized hail. Credit to Bo right now. He's driving fantastic out there. If anything changes out here, we'll let you know.
Evan, thank you. And you're kind of seeing the lowering of that cloud. You're getting into that hail core. We're also seeing an uptick in rotation, which is concerning. I want to take you for a tighter view. This is now to the east, moving towards Humboldt County. This is, again, an area of strong rotation. We'll fly out a little bit more to get you a little bit oriented to see where. And this is north of Highway 7, north of Manson. That's moving to the north and east. There's that area of rotation. We'll switch over to the velocity mode. And it has tightened once again. It's a messy appearance on radar. I've seen, and we've seen recently, storms that have looked a little bit more significant on radar. Not to say that you shouldn't take this seriously. We do have a bit of a hook that's wrapping in. Let's check to see if we have any debris being lofted. We are not, so that is a bit of good news. But we are seeing hail, and that sounded like and looked like some pretty big hail. That does look like they're looking at the wall cloud. I'm just looking so I can actually get my reference monitor. There is certainly a lowering, perhaps a wall cloud near Gilmore City that we're looking with at this storm as it continues to move to the north and east. This is the area of very heavy rain and perhaps some hail. Again, we know that there was hail right along Highway 3 and Highway 15, just east of Pocahontas. So Pocahontas, we mentioned it'll probably miss you to the east, and it is in fact missing you to the east. But if you live on the west side of Humboldt, I do want you to take this storm seriously. James, what are you seeing now? I know Evan just had a bit of hail moving through. Are you seeing rain with this storm just yet?
Chris, we're getting lucky. We're in Humboldt facing southwest. Just wind here, just a little bit of wind. But take a look. This is the system that Evan was in, and you're the expert here. Can you tell me, is that the wall that Evan was talking about right there? Is that what we're seeing through from the northeast edge of this storm? That is basically pointing the direction that Evan is. That's
the rain shaft and hail that you're seeing coming down. You wouldn't have the best vantage point. If you dropped a little bit farther south, you may see that wall cloud that Evan was seeing in Gilmore City. But from your vantage point, it's going to be very difficult to see when this storm approaches. Again, that's why I want people to be in the lowest level of their home. You're not going to be able to see these. These are moving at about 55 miles per hour. Sure. If you're listening to this, get in the lowest level of your home. Have you seen an uptick in lightning?
Yeah, a lot more lightning facing southwest here. There's a lot of it there. I'm not sure how zoomed in Dylan is on this. Photographer Dylan Kuhn is on this system. But yeah, you can see the rain falling, the heavy rain falling, and a lot more cloud-to-ground lightning there in that system. It's flashing, I would say, every 3 to 4 seconds, and a lot of thunder here in Humboldt. The sirens went off here in Humboldt as well, I'd say about 20 minutes ago. I have not heard them since, but seeing a lot of lightning with this system, looking right at it right now, Chris.
All right, and we're going to switch over to Evan Bunkers, who we have the picture from Evan Bunkers, and sure enough, you're seeing that the lowering of the sky. I don't see a tornado in there. That doesn't mean there won't be one developing. That is where we would see a tornado develop if one were to form. But We are seeing rotation, we do know that, and this storm is continuing to move to the north and east. I want to show you the velocity, and we'll look to see if we still have rotation. We do. It is rather broad right now, but that is the area that we are kind of looking at. Underneath that cloud is right in there. Well, let me draw on that a second. Let me switch over. It's so far from the radar site that we're having a tough time kind of picking it up on the right scan. But that is the area of concern. And any other reports that you're getting?
Let me double check here. Again, we've been talking about Palmer, and National Weather Service said they are continuing to see that strong rotation just to the northeast of Palmer. And the rotating wall cloud is still there, but so far we haven't had any reports of funnels reaching the ground at this point in time. So again, just kind of waiting to see if it does continue to develop a tornado or not. But again, if you're in Palmer, Gilmore City, need to be in your safe place right now as this tornado warning continues.
And that is what you're looking at is the wall cloud. That would be where we would expect a tornado to form. And you're also seeing some hail coming down. Evan, any change in hail size that you're noticing?
It's gotten larger. I think we're just a bit above marble size right now. I just asked Bo to continue to the east. We're coming into Gilmore City, and we're getting, okay, do you got the shot? Yep. There we go. You see the connection right now going on between, are you guys getting that?
Oh yeah. It appears we might have,
okay, we're gonna stay with it.
There's the rapidly rotating wall cloud. Dropping a little bit out of shot as the train varies, but we may see that maybe the dust being kicked up, that may be, it's displaced from where I would, it's very difficult to see what we're looking at, but that's certainly inflow into the storm system that's being kicked up, and that very well could be associated with a funnel that you're looking at move through. And they are near Gilmore City, and that is, can we switch back here? Evan, what are you seeing? Is that, it looks like there is a funnel. In fact, there is a funnel that is now coming out of that wall cloud.
See if you can stop, see if you can stop. You guys see it?
Yep. Yep, just take me off camera.
There we go. All right, we're not going to be here for too much longer. We got to get moving because this thing is racing off towards the northeast, but what appears to be a tornado on the ground right now just to the south and the west of Gilmore City.
That is
folks along Highway 3 east of Gilmore City to the northeast of Gilmore. Okay, we have a tornado on the ground right now.
Evan, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. It's heading for you.
Yeah, let's go. Go.
Get going now.
Punch it.
Just keep that shot up. Just try to keep pan with that storm. You got a large tornado. It looks like on the ground. Large tornado on the ground near Gilmore City.
Yeah.
Let's get to the radar.
Okay, keep going.
Let's get to the radar, and we'll show you what we're looking at. Can we double box this, guys? I do want to give people in Gilmore a heads up. So this is the strongest rotation we're seeing right along 310th Avenue, just west of Gilmore City. This is where I want you to be in the lowest level of your home. We're now passing into a residential area. That funnel is heading in your direction. We've been giving you this heads up, and sure enough, there's the Steins Rockin' R Mobile Home Park. Again, my apologies. Hopefully I am saying that right. I do not know that mobile home park specifically, but there's South Gilmore Street. There's 520th Street right there, right in the heart of Gilmore City and Iowa Avenue. If you are listening to this right now, if you're on the west side of town, that is where we have that tornado. That is where that Evan Bunkers showed you that area of rotation. That is strong rotation that's moving towards the northeast. We are probably now seeing, we're not actually seeing, well, now we are starting to see a little bit of debris coincide with where Evan was located. I don't know if we have his camera, what it's showing right now, but this is some of the strongest rotation that we've seen throughout the day near Gilmore City. But that was a fairly large tornado on the ground. Just checking with the National Weather Service. It appears, I mean, it's very difficult to see, but what you're seeing is a large area of condensation, dust being blown up. It's a little bit difficult from this vantage point to see the location of where Evan is, and you could make an argument that is an area of debris with a little bit of a funnel that we're still seeing. So that is what's heading towards Gilmore City. Strong rotation right in here. So we're going to put a track on this as it continues to move north and east through Gilmore City. It may just miss Humboldt, but it's moving at 55 miles per hour. So it is moving out of the warning area. So we'll see if they issue a new warning, but there it is. In Gilmore City, it's there right now, and that is the tornado that you're seeing on the screen. The Steins Rock and R Mobile Home Park, into Arnold, St. Joseph, Livermore, and then eventually into Irvington. You're not officially, the last few towns that I mentioned are not under that tornado warning officially, but they'll likely reissue a tornado warning for areas east into portions of Humboldt County along Highway 169. So now is the time to get down to the lowest level of your home. We still have a tornado which appears to be on the ground. It's a little bit difficult to see the funnel, but we are seeing some debris and certainly a lot of condensation and dust being sucked into that area of circulation. Evan, can we check in with you? What are we?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
What are we seeing right now?
Chris, we're currently about 2 miles east of Gilmore City. Do we have the camera set on that? And I think a lot of it is the tornado is wrapped in debris or dirt because it's not as defined as we had earlier with the funnel. And we're getting another alert. Sorry,
It's
guys.
a new tornado warning.
And we're just continuing to watch it here as we're just heading out to the east of Gilmore City. But folks in Gilmore City, please seek shelter now. Now is the time to go into your safe space.
Yeah, so this appears to be now it's a confirmed tornado, and you can see it extending off to the north and east. So as Evan mentioned, it's very difficult to see the funnel, but we are seeing an area near the base of those clouds that is likely the tornado that is still moving through. He is 2 miles east of Gilmore City. We'll take you in towards Gilmore City. This may miss Humboldt just off of the north and east. I want to give our crews, our field crews, James Stratton and whoever James is out with, make sure that they are keeping an eye off to the west. They're in Humboldt. This may miss them to the west, but we wanted them to take this storm very seriously. But we're seeing that tornado just moving through Gilmore City, that area of rotation, as it continues to move north and east. And it says flashing just because, again, this is a confirmed tornado. We were able to show you live on the air as that tornado went from a wall cloud, a rapidly rotating wall cloud, to a funnel cloud, and then a full-blown tornado with a large funnel that was on the ground. But this is the area right in here. If you're in Humboldt, west of Humboldt along Highway 3, and up along Highway 169. Now is the time to prepare for this storm as it moves off to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. You're not going to be able to see it anymore because this is just one big mess of rain that we're seeing as it moves off to the north and east. Ann, are you hearing or seeing anything else?
Not at this point in time. Again, just the hail threat there with this cell up to 1 inch in diameter. And it's slowed down just a little bit. It's moving now to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So
35 miles per hour.
Yeah, not quite as quick as it was going. Okay. But again, National Weather Service is saying the same things we have been saying. Intense rotation on the radar, and Gilmore City needs to be in shelter right now.
And into Rutland, into Arnold, and into Livermore. That is just the list of arrival times. You may not see the funnel pass over you. I gave you a little bit of a broad scan there. This is basically the length of the tornado warning. And that's an interesting shot from Humboldt that we're starting to see. Can we talk to James? James, what are you seeing right there? That certainly could be.
Chris, again, I'm not the meteorologist in the room here, Chris, but that looks like a debris rain-wrapped wedge of sorts, although very small. It's messy, as you said, and as Evan has said. But we watched it form in the last, I'd say, 5 minutes or so here on the west side of Humboldt, but that's looking exactly where Evan's shot was that you saw just minutes ago right here on KCCI, Chris.
Could your photographer just zoom in to what he or she is zooming into a little bit more? Because I think
Sure.
that is what we're seeing. I think that still is. It appears to be the tornado that is still on the ground, very difficult to see. You are in Humboldt, you said, or are you north or south of town?
We are right on the western edge of town, the Des Moines River right on our backs here in Humboldt. This would be looking southwest as it moves left to right across your screen would be the way it's moving, if that makes sense, southwest to northeast, Chris.
Okay, and the National Weather Service saying that this has 90 knots inbound, 34 knots outbound. Doing some quick math, about 134 knots. This would be a strong, perhaps violent tornado that's on the ground that you see on your screen. Very difficult to see, but that's the area. And James, do you hear anything? I know people hear that classic freight train noise. You are just outside of the warning as this passes off here
Sure.
northwest. What does it sound like?
Don't hear anything yet. Typical Midwesterner, I've heard that freight train sound you're talking about, Chris, and I don't hear it right now. But boy, that's sure a messy looking something in the sky. Again, I'm not the meteorologist in the room. Don't hear the freight train, hear a lot of thunder, see a lot of lightning along with this system here on the west side of Humboldt, Chris.
Okay. James, thank you so much. If you're in Livermore, I want you to be in the lowest level of your home right now because this is the storm that's moving off to the north and east. Let's check to see if we have velocity signatures indicating rotation right along Highway 3 just west of Humboldt. So James is right about there. He was looking into that storm, and you can actually still see that funnel. You may be able to see the funnel on both. It appears that we're seeing the funnel on both cameras here, one near Gilmore City and then the other down into Humboldt. So we have this storm basically from two vantage points, and that is the area of strongest rotation that we've been seeing right along Highway 3 west of Humboldt. Again, if that's Delaware Avenue, that would be right along Delaware Avenue towards Unique. That's where the strongest winds and shear is. Rutland, I want you to be in the lowest level of your home. And then there's the Highway 169 corridor. If you live along Highway 169, like in Arnold, for example, get into the lowest level of your home, away from windows, keep as many walls between you and the outside as possible. But Rutland appears to be the next population center that will likely see this storm pass off to the north and east. Again, moving at about 35 miles per hour, but anyone along Highway 169, it still appears that is the funnel, and we're seeing the two. This is pretty amazing meteorology to have two vantage points, the eyes of this tornado. We're seeing from Gilmore City, which is now off to your east, and then in Humboldt, it's off to your west. Again, into Livermore, into Rutland, this is where I want you to be in the lowest level of your home because this is, again, a confirmed tornado that's on the ground. You're seeing live video of the tornado on the ground. There is Unique, there is Rutland, and then there's Arnold, and then Livermore, the next few towns that are in the path of this storm. We also try to give you the all clear, and if you live east of Pocahontas, if you live now into Gilmore City, the worst of that tornado has now passed off to your east. So again, Gilmore City, I'm giving you the all clear. But if you're living downstream, Unique, up through Rutland and Arnold and Livermore, now is the time to be in the lowest level of your home. We just had that tornado outbreak that happened last month. So what I want you to do is protect yourself from flying debris, right? It's not the wind that hurts you. It's what the wind picks up and tosses your way that can either hurt or perhaps kill you in some cases. So just be mindful of that. We still have, I just saw a car that, let me see if that is, hopefully that is not debris showing up. Nope, that is displaced from the area of rotation. So that is some good news. But we still have that strong area of rotation. It's on the southern side of this warning, but it's maintaining its strength as it continues to move through. We still have eyes on the funnel. We still have the tornado in view as it moves through. What's that? Okay, so that is not live. That is not live near Gilmore City. So that is some video. So again, we just lost that, but we're still watching this from Humboldt as it continues to move just off to the west of Humboldt. Even though you're not in the warning, you may have heard the sirens going off a little while ago, but this is the area that I'm concerned about. A little bit messy, the appearance, but right along Highway 3, about ready to cross over Highway 169. We're still seeing that area of rotation, the reds and greens together. The radar is, the classic radar signature is a mess to look at because you're just seeing this broad area of very heavy rain that is showing up. And even outside of even outside of the strongest winds or that rotation, we may be seeing some hail that's pretty large, 2-inch in diameter hail. You heard it banging off of the storm chaser. And outside of that rotation, we still could have some winds anywhere from, I'd say, 80 to 100 miles per hour. It wouldn't be possible, it wouldn't be out of the question to see some of those winds materialize with this storm as it moves through. And what else are we seeing or hearing?
Just the latest report from the National Weather Service. I don't know if you mentioned this, but Dakota City also needs to take shelter now. They had specifically pointed out them, but other than that, they haven't gotten any new reports here within the last just few minutes from this cell. It looks like, go ahead, Chris.
We have chaser, so you can continue, Ann.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, same thing. We might have more footage here from this cell that we're continuing to watch here with Evan, potentially.
And now they're getting to that rain wrap
Yeah.
portion of it in Humboldt. So James and crew, it is passing off to your west, but that's why you're probably not able to see that area of rotation. Which, again, it's the southern part of the warning that we've seen the strongest rotation with this storm.
Lots of spotters out on this exact cell, and just as Chris had mentioned too, also reporting that it is rain wrapped, so kind of losing our vantage point of it just a bit.
Yep, we are. So now that and you're seeing quite a bit of lightning near Gilmore City, which is an indication that the storm is at least maintaining its strength. I don't want to give you the all clear if you're in the path of this storm, but the rotation isn't looking as significant as it was a short time ago, but we're still seeing this tornado warning that is in effect for a while longer. And let's switch over to this rotation product.
There's been reports now, Chris, of damage near Gilmore City.
Do we know what is damage?
No reports yet, just report of damage.
We mentioned the small hamlet of Unique right there, and that is where we have the strongest rotation as it continues to move off to the east and then eventually up through Rutland. So Iowa Avenue, Hawaii Avenue, Georgia Avenue, up into Rutland. I know this is a very close look, but thankfully, except for the extreme northwest part of Humboldt, this storm will likely be missing you just to the west. This is such a distance from the radar site. It's kind of in this no man's land of radar coverage. So we're scanning this storm pretty high up in the atmosphere. And the farther you are away, the higher up in the sky that you get this image of the tornado. And again, that's kind of why we're using this product versus the classic radar signature, which again is very messy. We're not looking at any classic signatures here. The velocity scan is looking at that wind way up in the atmosphere, and it's probably overdoing the winds a little bit. We still have a ton of cloud ground lightning that we're witnessing with the storm chaser, because even after that rotation passes, we still have a lot of rain and thunder that's moving through as it moves to the northeast at a slower speed at about 35 miles per hour. But you'll likely see, that's interesting, let me see. Wow, that is just some, that rain is, I was hoping that wasn't another spin up, how you saw that area of rain kind of racing across the roadway there. Okay. And I'm hearing some sirens too. So live pictures coming up in Humboldt. Wow. So
Very strong winds.
Oh, gosh. Look how dark that sky is.
Wow, and you can see the leaves being lofted as well. Wow, that is quite the structure of the storm. Even though it's messy in appearance, you can kind of see that shelf appearance or the structure that kind of, you can almost picture like a top, almost like a top spinning. That's what we're looking at. But any of our crews hearing the tornado sirens still going off? That's quite the supercell.
No sirens in Humboldt.
Okay, so it is the northwest part of town. What I am not liking is what I'm seeing on the radar on the southwest side. We're starting to see a little bit of a hook showing up there. And this is, again, near Gilmore City again. And let me just switch over to the velocity mode and see if we're seeing any rotation there. It is a lot weaker than what we saw earlier, but I want you to be paying close attention if you still live in this tornado warning. Most of it is passed out of Gilmore City, but we're starting to see another area of rotation just south and east of Pocahontas and just south of Highway 3. And I think that was the storm chaser shot that we had.
Woo!
Yep.
That was windy.
Evan, what are you seeing out there?
Well, what we're seeing out here is we just got blasted with some winds, probably in the neighborhood of 70 to 75 miles per hour here. We're just west of Humboldt. Very heavy rain. And we did stop because, honestly, I didn't feel too safe going further ahead. And just a lot of heavy rain. No hail. The hail has stopped, but we are seeing frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. And I'm going to rotate the camera around. And we're seeing some clearing off towards the west, over towards Gilmore City. This is looking west on Highway 3. West on Highway 3 towards Gilmore City. And then here's the east on Highway 3 over towards Humboldt. Other than that, the rain has let up and the winds have let up, but boy, we were getting blasted there for just a few minutes. And that's the latest out here on Highway 3, just west of Humboldt.
Evan mentioned those winds right along Highway 3. I think that this could be slightly overdone, but we'll do a quick little bit of a query as that storm continues to move off to the east. 83 mile per hour wind gusts. And he said they were gusting probably to over 70 miles per hour. That might be a little bit overdone at 105, but you just prepare for strong damaging winds, even if that area of circulation doesn't move through your community. And on the north side, I think we still have a bit of a hail core that's moving into Livermore, and that is preceding the area of rotation off to the south and west. But that is the area of highest impacts, those yellows, oranges, and reds. That is the area I'm most concerned about. And the area of rotation, thankfully, is broadening a little bit. Ann, are you hearing or seeing anything otherwise?
I was just going to say, do you want to go back down closer towards Palmer? National Weather Service was watching that other area of circulation near the Palmer area, and they indicated that it appeared to be intensifying as well. So it's likely that this is going to move into the already tornado-warned area here within the next few minutes or so.
So that is the area that we're looking at just east of Pocahontas and Gilmore City, and sure enough, it is starting to tighten up a bit. Almost like it's passing its strength to the backside of the storm system. Can anyone just check to see if we're seeing power outages across the region? Sometimes that's a good indication of damage. And then if we have the Humboldt camera, I'd be curious because that is a good push of wind. It's broad rotation, may be another rotating wall cloud if it's not a tornado that's on the ground, but that is passing just to the north of where James was located. This is the intersection of Highway 3, Highway 169 as it continues to move to the north and east. We're not seeing any debris necessarily. Wow, there's some live cloud-to-ground lightning. I don't like using all of our arsenal of tools when it comes to systems that are this far from the radar site, but at least you can kind of see where we have the broad area of rotation. The radar is still a very messy appearance because, again, it is just radar contaminated. And if you look at the big picture, we're starting to see storms that are forming on the west side. Don't want to forget this. This is tonight's activity for everyone. and that will become a line of damaging, perhaps destructive thunderstorms that move through late tonight. So as we reset and regroup, this is just the first round for the communities that are seeing this. And just because you're not seeing storms right now doesn't mean you won't later on. And look south of Carroll, we're starting to see some of these storms get going. And James, what are you seeing?
Hey Chris, you talked about that wind on the backside of that wall. We're feeling it here. You can see the trees really swaying. I don't want to guesstimate wind, but getting hard to stand here west of Humboldt. I'd say 40, 50 plus would be my guess. Starting to get sustained there, and a lot of cloud to ground lightning. Rain now starting to come down. We are in the wall cloud, or the shelf cloud rather, that you talked about on the west side of Humboldt here.
And we just got a picture. I don't know if this is from the earlier circulation or from this current circulation in Palmer, but
here's all the chasers.
There are all the tornado chasers out there. But we are seeing reports of, well, there's a picture of the tornado near Palmer. I don't know if that's from now or if that was from earlier, because we have that new area of rotation that we're seeing west of Humboldt and near Gilmore City. I'm told you at Gilmore City you were in the clear, but I do want you to go back down to the lowest level of your home if possible, because we're starting to see the secondary area of rotation start to move in right along 310th Avenue, just west of Gilmore City, as it continues to move to the north and east. That is, again, just on the southwest side of the warning. The primary area of rotation is now moving up towards Livermore and just north of Humboldt. So those were the areas that we're watching closely. We still have that area of rotation that's just south of Livermore and north of Humboldt that's moving off to the north and east. Again, that is the area of rotation, not looking as significant as it did a short time ago, looking very messy on radar appearance.
National Weather Service going with those two distinct areas of circulation there, Chris. One in eastern Pocahontas County near Gilmore City, which you just mentioned, and then another one just north of Dakota City, also in Humboldt County right now.
So that's one area.
That's the Gilmore City.
That's the Gilmore City. And then the other one, which is just to the west of Highway 169. We're starting to see that area of rotation a little bit more broad. The tornado warnings that are up, though, the tornado warning that's up, is it still for a confirmed tornado? Has that changed?
That has not changed.
Okay. And that's what we're seeing. We'll turn the rotation back on and do a little bit of analysis. Let's go up here. Oops, apologies for that. Let me clear that off. Let's fly into this area of rotation just west of Livermore. You can kind of see that right along 150th Street, southwest of Livermore. So this is moving off to the north and east. One area of rotation within that warning, and that was the initial cell that produced the tornado. And then now on the southwest side of the warning, where the tornado passed earlier, which you saw live right here on TV develop, we're seeing another area of rotation just south of Gilmore this time. So those are the two areas. We'll broaden the view one more time to show you that we have additional storms that are firing along that line that goes from Lincoln up to almost Sioux City. That will be moving off to the east. And that, I think, later on will have a tornado potential as well. And any other reports?
No reports right now. Still just those two areas of circulation. And again, we've got those cells kind of popping closer to the metro area right now, but no severe thunderstorms warnings associated with those for this time. It's still mainly just to the northwest of Fort Dodge at this point in time.
I am concerned. So we have a new severe thunderstorm watch, it looks like, for most of the area all the way through the metro. That just was issued. But notice how these storms just billow up. I am concerned, even though there's no warning. If you're in Fort Dodge, just keep an eye on things, and we'll be sure to keep an eye on things as well. And Carroll, you're starting to see thunderstorms roll in, but this is the severe thunderstorm watch that has just been issued. It goes from central Kansas all the way up to the metro area and to the northeast. That isn't to say we won't see embedded tornadoes with this line, but the primary risk will be hail and damaging winds as that line moves off to the east. So that's what we're seeing currently across the area. I do want to get back to the storm that is prompting the tornado warning into Humboldt County. You can see that here. Most of it, again, northwest of Humboldt, Kossuth County. You are next looking to stay just south of Algona. We'll see if that changes as well. And those two areas of rotation, I will circle them. It's possible that both could be or are producing tornadoes. There's that one area, and then there's the southern flank of the storm system that is producing rotation as they lift off to the north and east. The north side of Humboldt, though, even if you're not seeing a tornado on the ground, there are some strong damaging wind gusts that are possible with a lot of lightning. And I don't know if it's possible. Can you? I do want to see if you can turn on the lightning count. Because
yes.
I want to kind of keep an eye on this area to see if we're seeing an uptick or if we're seeing the numbers begin to decline. It's possible that the storm will cycle again, and that's why, even though it may not look like it's jumping out at you, it's something that we could be. Let me step off. Sorry, that's why you're not being able to use the mouse.
Let me, there you go.
So we're up to 534 or 37 strikes, and the number's going up a little bit. It's possible that this storm is still rotating.
Confirmed tornado just east of Gilmore City with that second area of circulation.
So confirmed tornado once again with this storm right here in Gilmore City. There's the storm right here. Let me get my bearings. There's Humboldt, so it's the western side of this storm that's continuing to move through. But there's Highway 3, so that strong rotation is right along Highway 3. But then north side of Humboldt, we're starting to see that intensify. And you could almost make an argument that you have a third area of rotation just south and west of Livermore. So it's really difficult to see what exactly is coming down, because if you look at the classic radar mode, this is what looks at the precipitation intensity. It's a mess. It's a big area and we have a new tornado warning. And for western Pocahontas County, so this is the west side of Pocahontas County, and that is for, can you pull that up?
Yeah, I got it over here. This is, yes, Pocahontas moving at about 60 miles per hour, producing a tornado located near Albert City. Okay. But that's just 9 miles west of Pocahontas.
So that is, even though they're just outside of the warning, there's Albert City. I guarantee you that's where we have some of that area of red and green. It's weak, but it may be this area too, just along Highway 3, west of Pocahontas. This is just so far this scan from the radar. Unfortunately, the radar coverage isn't the best this far away. But this is the active tornado warning that we've been watching, that we still have. You have that live cloud of ground lightning. We are in Humboldt County. They're coming up on damage on Highway 3. So we'll keep with this shot. Is this Storm Chaser or is this? So this is Storm Chaser. And there, sure enough, it looks like there's a barn that suffered some damage. What are we seeing?
What are we seeing? I don't see any structural damage, but we do have a tree that's hanging, or it's fallen over Highway 3 right now. Gonna send the camera back, and there we go. Oh, we are, yep, the barn is damaged. There you go, there's your shot.
So we are seeing some structural damage. Where is this located? I know it's on along Highway 3.
We're about 8 miles to the east of Gilmore City.
Okay. Evan, was that the Gilmore City area?
You know, it was the Gilmore City area, but this wasn't. Oh, okay, hold on a second. We are going to have to figure out an alternate route because we just were told that coming up here on Highway 3, there is a tree that is completely covering, that is downed over Highway 3, so we're going to have to head up north here.
Okay. So let's check out the radar because we are still seeing that uptick in lightning. We're up to 635 lightning strikes, which means this storm is maintaining its intensity as it moves through. And we have multiple areas that we're watching for rotation as it continues northeast, just outside of, or just to the west side of the warning. This is just a couple of miles north of Humboldt. And if you live along Highway 169, just east of there, we have that area of rotation that's continuing to move just west of Renwick and just to the south of Livermore. It looks like it just passes in between those two areas. A lot of cloud ground lightning that you're seeing with this storm. And then there's that other area of rotation southwest, or just west of Humboldt, near Gilmore City. And James, what are you seeing?
Hey, Chris, pan over to the right, would you, Dylan? Chris, we're in a rotation through this. Take a look at this. We're just forming in the last, 15 or so seconds. Again, not the meteorologist in the room to tell me what that is, but this is the area where you were talking about where the velocity is spinning right here. I was looking at it on the app that I have on my phone, but this is where the circulation is happening here west of Humboldt.
Is that a live picture that you have up? Okay, so that's a live picture.
This right now here on the west side.
And you're on the west side of Gilmore now?
West side of Humboldt. This is a live picture coming from photographer Dylan Kuhn right now.
So what you're seeing there is at least a funnel cloud. It looks like the rotation has stopped for the time being, but if that is on the west side of Humboldt, that was near Gilmore City, part 2, so to speak. That is Rutland. So I want you to be in the lowest level of your home because that area of circulation, it doesn't look as significant as it did when we took the shot, but that area of circulation will be heading to the northeast towards Rutland. And there's some of the damage. I think that's probably the tree that came down along Highway 3. And this is why you just want to stay off the roads. It's congested, a lot of people out there chasing. We knew that this would be in a big event days in advance, and unfortunately this is what happens. You get a lot of chasers that are all converging on the same area, and that's a mess. Making sure that that's not damaged. Okay, again, our debris signature isn't as significant. I think it's because that's a product of the distance we are from the radar site. But you're also traveling in some torrential rain, and this is why I want you to avoid driving if you can. Props to either it's EMS, fire, or public works crews out there cleaning this up. I mean, those men and women do such a fabulous job, and this literally moved through minutes ago, and they never get the credit that they deserve. And again, great job clearing off the roads there. That's heavily traveled Highway 3, and they're already, I think, clearing out that tree that fell down. 5-inch per hour rainfall rates. That's what we're seeing. That's why I don't want you on the road if you can avoid it.
We have a new tornado warning, Chris.
New tornado warning?
Or a continuation of that warning, pushing to the east of Humboldt now. So into portions of Wright County, Humboldt County, Hancock. That goes until 7:45 p.m. Yep. Is confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado 7 miles northeast of Dakota City.
Okay.
And it's moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour.
So we're talking Dakota City?
City, yes.
And that's the area.
Just to the east of Humboldt.
So that is the area. Anyone, are you still seeing that, James? What are you looking at?
Hey, Chris, we're seeing a funnel cloud almost, I don't want to say it's right above us, but here, Dylan's kind of panning up in the cloud there. A lot of rotation in that cloud right there. This is the west side. Again, we haven't moved all evening since we've been standing here. The west side of Humboldt. Back behind us is the Des Moines River here in Humboldt. But this is what we're seeing right now. A lot of rotation in that cell right above, not above us, but to the west of us.
Wow. And that is...
It's pretty incredible to see, Chris.
And what were you saying, that report?
The one I was just reading was for Dakota City, which is just to the east of Humboldt.
Sorry.
The tornado that was confirmed on the ground was 7 miles northeast of Dakota City.
Oh, northeast.
Sorry,
You see the
northeast
ring on it?
of Dakota City. That's moving at about 40 miles per hour.
So that is the northeast side of that warning. So that is right south of, excuse me, just south of Livermore. And you got Humboldt, and Humboldt is now in that tornado warning officially. And then Dakota City is right near there. So you're saying 7 miles to the northeast?
Yes.
That is the area. So if you live in Renwick, we were giving it a little bit of a heads up. Make sure you're in the lowest level of your home. And is it possible maybe we could you could throw up some severe weather safety tips and go over some of them?
Yep.
I think that this could be a very long evening, and it's always good to have a bit of a refresher. And if eventually we could take that at the 3x3 to the director who's in the booth, eventually we'll be able to go over some of those tips. But we're seeing other storms to the south that I'm concerned about between Fort Dodge and Carroll, and there has been an uptick in lightning there as well. We don't want to forget about those storms. It's possible that they could turn severe as well, but the primary storm near Dakota City and Humboldt, it's a large and dangerous tornado that's moving through. There's Highway 169, and then you can kind of see those multiple areas of rotation within the storm. One just west, so just north of Humboldt, and then the other one to the northeast of Humboldt. Those are the two areas that we're watching closely with strong rotation. See how that lines up when I switch the product over? Those areas of red and maroon were right near where we're seeing those velocity signatures right next to each other. Most of this now staying south of Algona. And oftentimes we see that with supercells. They begin to bend off to the right, and that's what we're kind of seeing, that hook to the right as they continue to move through. So Ann will be getting those severe weather safety tips up, and she'll be able to go over some of those. But these are the two areas of rotation that we're looking. We're not seeing that classic hook signature with them as they move through, but we are seeing those reds and greens together. A little bit messy, I know. But there's one there, and then there's... and then Ann, let me know when you are ready to go.
They can take it if you want.
Okay.
I can talk.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about the plan so I can regroup and just
Yes.
check
Go
how
ahead.
we're doing.
Yes, so again, we've been talking about this for the last couple of days. Maybe it sounds like it's on repeat, but these are the things that you have to have in line when we have severe weather like this, so you can quickly take action. And go ahead there, Ellie. Okay, quickly take action here when we have a situation like this. So hopefully you already have some sort of reliable weather app downloaded on your phone, the KCCI app, and if you do have to head to your basement or head out of the room that has your TV in it, you can stream us live on your phone and listen to the warnings that we're giving to you. Don't forget to have the emergency alerts turned on your phone, and if you do happen to go to bed or fall asleep, don't have your phone on silent. Have your phone on loud so you can get those alerts sent to your phone right away, and you can hear that if you do happen to fall asleep. Weather radio, great thing to have as well, and of course you can stay up to date with us here right on KCCI, on TV, online, on the web, or on the app. So again, if you are under tornado warning, obviously severe thunderstorm warning, you should already be inside, away from the windows. Interior room is the best place to go. Bottom floor of whatever kind of building you are in. Hallway is a good spot. Bathroom, interior bathroom on the first floor is also a good spot. But if you have a basement or a tornado shelter, those spots are the best places to go to stay safe from any kind of flying debris, from a potential tornado, or from a strong thunderstorm. So lowest level, if you have a chance to maybe grab some pillows, blankets. Chris, you need to say something.
I
Also
just
good tip.
want to take James's shot. Can we take James's shot? Oh, we don't? Okay, so James is seeing, what was that, Stacy?
Of a funnel from on the ground west side of Humboldt looking southwest.
Okay. Okay. So these are the two areas that we're still looking at, and I know he was near Humboldt, so I'm assuming it could be either of these circulations. But north of Highway 3 right now, the worst the weather is north of there, and these storms are tracking off to the north and east. Again, I do want you to be in the lowest level of your home. A little bit of a weakening of the rotation with that storm just north of Humboldt, but we still have some strong rotation on the northeast part of that storm system. And this is the area right in here that we're watching. And there's Hardy. So this is just northwest of Hardy. There's Livermore. It's just east of you, continuing to move off to the east and northeast. And this is Washington Avenue, and this is near Renwick. So Renwick, Hardy, and into Livermore. It looks like the strongest part of that rotation is in between all three of those towns, and it's continuing to move to the north and east. So that's what we're watching now as that storm moves through. The Humboldt County cam, obviously a very ominous sky that we're looking at. We don't see a tornado in this shot right now, but that isn't to say we won't. And thankfully the storm and the Pocahontas storm in the northern part of that county, we aren't seeing any rotation anymore. So hopefully that threat is starting to diminish. But there's that storm in Humboldt County. Nasty appearance to it, a lot of cloud to ground lightning. There's that rain blob that we're seeing on your screen as it moves off to the north and east. We still have a lot of lightning, but no classic signatures when it comes to a hook echo or a debris ball. We're just seeing this broad area of very heavy rain and thunderstorms, but inside of that, that is where we have those areas of rotation. So Ann, I know we were doing some of those severe weather safety tips. Do you mind going over some of them? Yeah, I do want to go back to that.
Okay, let me just pull that up real quickly here.
If people are in the path of this storm, we want you to take shelter immediately as it moves through. As you're getting that up, we'll do one more track on it. So if you're listening to Ann's advice, this is the area that I want you to seek that advice. Let me try to pull this over, and here you go. So if you live in any of these communities, Ann will have some of those safety tips about where to go, what to do, and these again are the areas.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say too, Chris, National Weather Service just said strongest rotation now between Rutland and Hardy.
Yep, we just mentioned that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just to reiterate that. Again, there has been damage with a lot of these tornadoes that we've been covering, but if you are in any of these areas that we've been mentioning, Humboldt, again, Gilmore City, or wherever you are, whether you're in the warning or not, lowest level of your home, best place to be. Stay away from the windows. Obviously, we have a lot of people storm chasing and out covering the storms with eyes on these tornadoes that are on the ground. So try to stay away from the windows. Don't go outside and try to look at it for yourself. Your safety is of utmost importance. So you should be in the basement, lowest level of your house, again, away from windows. Stay away from any exterior walls, kind of head to the center portion of wherever you're located if possible. Again, basement, tornado shelter, underground, best place to be at this point in time, especially if you're in northwest Iowa. Again, tornado watch in effect for northwestern portions of Iowa here. Again, that means conditions are favorable. We've already seen the storms continue to fire up here. Conditions are favorable for tornado warnings or for more warnings here as we head into the evening hours tonight. So again, if you are under tornado warning, you'll have that alert go off on your phone. You'll likely maybe hear the sirens outside, but that means you need to quickly take action, lowest level of your house if possible, as soon as you hear those warnings, or if you hear us say your town's name and that you're in that tornado warning, that's when you need to get to your safe place as fast as you can. Again, if you have the chance to maybe grab some pillows, blankets perhaps, to take with you to kind of put over your head to shield you from any flying debris, that's always helpful. But again, most important, basement, interior room, lowest level, and stay away from the windows because flying debris can go right through those windows and break the glass. So those are just kind of, again, some tips that we want to give you, just kind of give you an idea in case, you know, lots going on right now. And if you lot going on in your head, just to reiterate the most important steps to take here through the evening hours tonight. We've got the tornado warnings up again just to the north of Fort Dodge, but also, as Chris has been talking about too, still keeping our eye on that secondary line of storms out into eastern Nebraska there. That's going to be pushing into southwestern portions of Iowa here as we head into the coming hours. But again, our main focus here up to the Fort Dodge area. So we'll kind of zoom back in on these tornado warning cells. So we'll just pull up the shear tracker here. So that gives you kind of an idea of where some of the rotation has been, and pretty clear line here from maybe Pomeroy all the way up just to the western side of Humboldt, where there's potentially has been rotation. And I think we have a live picture here. So we'll take that. This is going to be just to the north of Humboldt, this picture that we have when we see it come up here. But still, that tornado warning continues. Okay, we've got the live picture here. That's just to the north of Humboldt. So you've got the darkening skies continuing here. Just to the north of the city. Is this James? Okay. So James, you're headed out on the roadway up just north out of Humboldt.
I got nothing.
Okay, that's fine. So I think we can't hear James, but we can see his picture here. So he is heading out of Humboldt to the north here. I'm just getting my bearings here on the radar. So hard to really see any kind of distinct images. Okay, James, you want to say anything here? You're headed out of Humboldt?
I'm not sure how well you guys can hear me. Switch to a new camera. So this is
Okay.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, we did, but we're starting to see the storm hook off to the right. The new warning, the updated warning, is now for a Doppler radar indicated tornado, and we have so many chasers out there that that's a hopeful sign that the storm maybe is starting to weaken a little bit. Yes, there's still a lot of lightning. It's possible that this storm could continue to cycle, but the worst of it is now passing south of Algona and it's continuing off to the east. Belmont, you are next if the storm continues to move off to the east. We'll show you the velocity mode and look at some of the areas of rotation. Still strong rotation being reported, and in this general area, this is now northeast of Humboldt. As it continues to move off to the east, there's Renwick, and that is some strong rotation. And that is a possible tornado. Again, it's no longer a confirmed tornado on the ground, but that is one area that I'm very concerned about in this general area where you see those yellows merging with the greens. That is just north of Renwick. And we'll play this out and see if we're seeing any changes. Certainly it's been cycling, but it's also been maintaining that area of circulation on that southern flank of the warning as it continues to the north and east, as it moves through and into Renwick. Thankfully, we're not seeing any debris signatures. I don't know, again, if that's a product just because this is so far away from the radar site that we may not be able to get a good sampling of what's happening inside these thunderstorms, but there is no radar indicated tornado at this point. Most of this, again, is Doppler radar indicated at this point. And there's a lot of rain and perhaps some significant hail. You see those black colors indicating where we have those hail cores. We did have a report earlier of baseball-sized hail, and if you look here, that's 3-inch in diameter hail near Corwith, just west of there, and northwest of Renwick. Again, the hail cores just displaced to the north and east, but we're still seeing a huge area of wind that may be upwards of 80, again, maybe a little overdone at 100 miles per hour, but 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible as the storm continues to move off to the east. There's a lot of traffic out there, way too much, unfortunately, and I think, again, a lot of people are out here chasing since this was highly well advertised as the storm continued to move through. Are we getting any other reports of damage? Any of our crews that are out working this storm? Are we getting any reports from them? I know Stacy did mention that we have an uptick in power outages across some of those counties, out towards Pocahontas and into Humboldt counties as the storm continues to move through. And then if you look a little bit farther to the west, there's that developing line of thunderstorms that's quickly moving off to the east. You can see it just west of Council Bluffs. And there was, in fact, a tornado warning that popped up along that line. And it's possible that we may see that tornado threat evolve as that line continues to move off to the east. But thankfully, most of the storms are moving out of our immediate area, and they'll continue to move through into the northeast. And any other reports that you're seeing?
Just again, the reports of hail up to about an inch in diameter in Humboldt County there, out near Gilmore City. Dime size also, quarter size hail also being reported there in not only Humboldt County, but also Pocahontas County.
Okay. Evan, what are you seeing and where are you?
Evan, what are you seeing and where are you? We are currently about 5 miles north of Humboldt on 169. We're back into the rain. Right now, not a whole lot of damage to report. Of just some trees or just some limbs down right here on 169. Not as bad as what we saw back on Highway 3 between Gilmore City and Humboldt. But we're staying with it. I know this storm is moving off towards the northeast at a very fast clip, so we're not going to be able to keep up with it. But we're going to check for any damage that we see out here between Algona and Humboldt.
Evan, how have things been with chasers out there? Have they been slowing down traffic?
If there's one thing you should hear, it's we were stopped because of a tree over the highway east of Gilmore City. There was a resident who was already out there not 5 minutes after it passed with a chainsaw and like a heavy loader to get the tree out of the way. And I'm like, that's impressive. Not even still during a tornado warning, and he's cleaning off the highway to get people through. So hats off to him. But we're back in the rain here. No hail, we're getting some lightning, and the wind has picked up just a little bit, but no damage out here.
All right, and you see that person pulled over with their hazards. We're starting to get those people writing in saying, get back to programming. These are large, confirmed tornadoes that have been on the ground across parts of the area. If this was happening in your town, we'd give you the same consideration. So be mindful of that and give your neighbors that same consideration as these storms continue to move to the north and east. There's that area of rotation near Corwith. It's certainly possible that this storm may be tightening up a little bit, and that is a concerning trend as it moves extreme southeastern parts of Cothus County as it moves north and east. Again, that is the area of rotation that has picked up just in the last little while. And what else are you seeing? And do you want to go over some of those severe weather safety tips?
Yeah, I can do that. Or, I just would have to step back over to my computer if you want me to take a look at chat real quick.
No, you can just go over the severe weather safety tips if you can.
If you guys can take this up here. And again, keep in mind too, not many people here, well, no one in the metro area yet has been under a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning this evening, but the threat is not over. Of course, we've had these individual cells and isolated storms off to the north and west of the metro area, but we still have a threat here in the metro area as we go into the later evening hours tonight, as we head closer towards 8, 9, 10 o'clock and upwards of midnight tonight. So have a plan in place. If you're at home with your family this evening, you're putting the little ones to bed, have a way to get the warnings if you do go to sleep, or maybe you fall asleep on the couch watching TV. Have our app downloaded again that we've been saying, have a weather radio plugged in and hooked up and ready to go. That will give you the warnings if a tornado warning is issued or a severe thunderstorm issued for your county. But again, if you want to maybe if you're worried about the storms, you could always go to bed in the basement, lowest level of your home, wherever you go for your safe spot. That's also a good idea because these storms will be coming into the metro area once the sun sets, and that presents another threat because you won't be able to see the storms as well during the daylight hours. We have the nocturnal storms later on tonight, so that will be a big concern, especially as that line pushes into the metro area. So lowest level of the home, again, avoid windows, stay away from the windows, have a plan in place with your family already. Maybe you can put some pillows, blankets already into your basement, into your safe spot, so it's there ready to go if you do have to take action, if there is a tornado warning issued for your county. But just have a way to stay informed as well. We talked about if you can't be by the TV, take your phone with you, head to the basement. You can listen on your phone. You can stream us there on the KCCI app, grab your computer. You can also watch us online as well. So those are probably the best tips that we have for you. But keep that in mind here as we head into the evening hours tonight, and as we head closer towards midnight. We still have a large threat for stronger storms to push into the metro area and into central Iowa later on tonight. A lot of the area under that tornado watch, again, that just means conditions are favorable of storms producing tornadoes, but when there is a warning issued, that means that a tornado has been spotted by someone out, they see the tornado on the ground, or it has been indicated by radar that there is a tornado on the ground. So again, you got to take these storms seriously. Safety, utmost importance here, and we just want to make sure everyone can stay safe here as we head into the evening hours tonight. So again, have the weather radio, have the apps on, have your emergency alerts turned on your smartphone. Don't put your phone on silent tonight or you won't hear those alerts. Keep the phone on loud, so if there's a tornado warning or some type of severe thunderstorm warning, you'll hear that on your phone. Chris, do you want to go back to you?
Yeah, let's do a quick update on this storm. It's now, again, southeast of Algona. We'll fly you in a little bit tighter and show you the area of strongest circulation. That, again, is just near Renwick as it moves off to the east-northeast. There's Corwith right there. In Hannah, the small hamlet of Hannah, the strongest rotation is over you currently, and it's quickly moving off to the northeast. Just some of the towns and areas that you're looking at in the path of this storm. There's Laverne right there. There's Hannah as it moves off to the north and east. There's Highway 17 right here. The strongest rotation, though, right there as it continues to move to the north and east. Another area of rotation, this is just to the southeast of Laverne as it continues to move towards Highway 17. We're seeing multiple areas of rotation still with these thunderstorms, and again, maybe a little bit broader, but these reds and greens are right smack over each other, and you can see it right in here. Those are some strong winds, even outside of that tornadic rotation, as it continues to move off to the north and east. Let us look at the broader view, and you can see the thunderstorms that are starting to move in across the western part of the state. And we still have several hours, but all of these storms are warned for winds up to 70 miles per hour. And we're telling you that because that's usually the criteria that the counties use to sound the sirens, which by the time it gets here, it'll likely be bedtime, and you'll probably wake up to sirens in your community if this line holds together. And if anything, it's been gaining some steam. You just saw that car pass the storm chaser. Very dangerous conditions to do that in. You do not want to be passing on. Okay, so that was our chaser. Somebody passed the chaser. You don't want to be on rain-covered roads like that when it's pouring. But there's Humboldt. I'll give you the all clear. The worst of the weather is passed off to the east. And there's some bad weather moving through Algona, but these are general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. We'll check the velocity mode. We're not really seeing any rotation, but that area of rotation is continuing to move off to the east, eventually into Wright County as it moves northeast. So that is what we're seeing across the area. We'll change over to the rotation mode. Maybe some weakening, but it's certainly possible that this storm could be just cycling. And there's that strongest area of rotation right along Highway 117. Again, this is just to the south of Corwith. And what else are you seeing?
We do have a severe thunderstorm warning just issued for Webster County until 8 p.m., so that does include Fort Dodge.
Okay.
So they just issued that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that includes Fort Dodge.
What's the language on that warning?
We've got hail up to 1.5 inches and 60-mile-per-hour winds there with this cell.
Any tornado possible on that? Or?
Tornado possible, yeah.
It is? Mm-hmm. So let's just put a track on this. What is the speed, the forward speed on this?
We've got, let me see here.
So there's the storm right there, and there's the uptick in lightning. 40 miles per hour off to the north and east.
Yes.
So there's the storm, and that latest scan also looks a lot more significant. And Fort Dodge, you're right in the path of this. Shady Oak, Barnum, and Fort Dodge, anywhere between 2 and 6 minutes away. We'll clear that off. This is a little bit closer to the radar site, and we'll see if we're seeing any rotation. And it does appear that we have some broad rotation on the southwestern part of the storm, east of Rockwell City. And there's, again, this is west of Fort Dodge, just southwest of Moreland. Broad rotation. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, but it does include the possibility of a tornado. When it comes to impacts, we're seeing some hail. That's another possibility. And a lot of that hail is just to the southwest of Moreland. You can see that latest scan indicates where we may have some strong damaging winds as well. This area of Maroon, winds up to about 58 miles per hour. The hail size could be, let's see what that is. Well, let's do a quick query here. 1 inch in diameter hail. Just checking the box when it comes to a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's possible that this will continue to gather some strength as it moves into an area that's a lot more favorable for these storms. And then look at the western and southern part of the storm, just south of Highway 20, so southwest of Fort Dodge, near Otho. That is starting to hook too. So we're going to watch that closely because that could be the next area that we see a tornado warning issued. And then farther to the northeast, that is where we have the active tornado warning that's continuing to move to the northeast. So Ann, any other reports from that?
Just again, there was observed wind gusts of 70 miles per hour and 1.25 inches of sized hail there with this cell. So significant hail with a lot of these storms that we've been seeing, lots of reports of hail upwards of golf ball size, if not baseball sized hail coming in with some of these cells here. But we want to, let's just check in this.
Yeah, let's see.
Strong winds with this cell too. But we just want to let you know too that severe thunderstorm warning, again, if you're just tuning in here, you're hearing the sirens for Webster County, including Fort Dodge here. And that goes until 8 o'clock tonight.
Near Renwick, okay. And we just have a new tornado warning out for Hancock. It's the continuation of that warning. And Storm Chasers, where is it located? Okay, so Renwick.
Storm Chaser is currently about 5 miles west of Renwick.
And Evan, what are you seeing?
We're just getting a lot of rain. I think we're coming in on the back end of that tornado, so we're just taking it really slow because I think what we're dealing with is a rain-wrapped tornado. We're also, I'm going to pan off to the right here. We're keeping an eye on that storm off towards the south over in Fort Dodge and Otho, like you were talking about. And we're about 25 to 30 miles north of there.
That's a
but
wall
still,
cloud
we're
right
keeping
there.
an eye on this because, yeah, exactly. And we're going to be stopping up here in just a second to make, and I want to make sure we're safe. But we are currently about 5 miles west of Renwick.
What else are you seeing?
Just a lot of heavy rain and cloud of ground lightning right now. And winds aren't too bad right now. But like I said, just trying to be careful because a lot of these storms are rain wrapped right now with the tornadoes. Let's take the right. And yeah, just trying to be safe out here. But other than that, not a whole lot going on out right now.
And that is one significant hail core that we're seeing. And we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes Kossuth County, including Algona. Do you have information on that, the forward speed?
I have not seen that one populate just quite yet here on my end.
All right, let me just see. I just saw it come over here. So this is for 70 mile per hour winds. It's possible into Kossuth County that you may have the tornado sirens going off, but it's for $half sized hail. Train spotters indicating $half sized hail and wind gusts of 70 miles per hour, and that's for this storm right in there. So you can actually see that. And also that shot towards rural Humboldt County. That's a pretty mean looking wall cloud. So Algona, so there's the storm right there. Let me get the forward speed on that as it continues to move to the north and east.
60 miles per hour.
That's moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour?
Mm-hmm. The one in Algona, near Algona?
So the one in Algona, we'll put a track on it as it moves in this direction at 60 miles per hour. No tornado warning on this storm, but it is producing 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and we're seeing $half size hail. So German Valley into Buffalo Center and Thompson and Stevens, that's anywhere from the next 12 minutes to 28 minutes as that continues to move off to the north and east. we may see some rotation with that storm as well. We showed you that core. We'll take you into that southwest side of the storm near Algona. There's also been an uptick in lightning, and sometimes that's when you have that rotation begin to tighten a little bit. Broad rotation, nothing significant right now, but we'll be keeping our eye on that storm as well. And then here's that storm that Evan has his eyes on right along Highway 17. That is still exhibiting extremely strong rotation as it moves off to the east and northeast. In fact, this is some of the strongest rotation we've seen. Let's go down a little bit closer, right along Highway 17. And there's Hannah right there. So it's southeast of there. Let me see what we're looking at. This area of yellow corresponds with extreme rotation. We'll look at the velocity product and the wind speeds, and that lines up quite well. Even 65 mile per hour winds when you're talking outside of any tornado threat. And that is continuing to move to the north and east. There's Hill Avenue as it continues to lift through. Denhart, you're in the path of this storm, right along Highway 17, just east of Hannah, as that storm moves through. This is some of the strongest rotation we've seen of the day, and we've had confirmed tornadoes that you've seen live here on the air. This is right along Birch Avenue. There's Denhart to the north and east, and the storm weakening thankfully a little bit as it moves through, but we're keeping our eye on that closely as that area of rotation moves just south of Corwith and now east of Highway 17. There's Renwick, and that's where Evan Bunkers was located, and he's probably, I think that camera he said was pointed to the north, and he was looking into that storm in a great position to see the area that's not obscured by rain. Actually, can we talk to Evan?
Yeah, Evan's on.
Was the camera pointed north into that storm?
We are facing towards the southeast of the storm right now.
Okay.
I'm going to move the camera to the northeast, though. And as you can see right there, that's pointing towards the northeast.
Okay.
And it looks more, we're more rain wrapped up in that area.
And Algona just had a wind gust to 72 miles per hour with that severe thunderstorm that moved through. But this is the Fort Dodge storm, which is right at the intersection of Highway 7, Highway 169, just north of Highway 20 in Otho. And that's the storm that's moving off to the north and east. And I think that's, Evan, you were mentioning that you were panned to the southwest and you were getting an image of that, the north side of that storm. That was rotating. We'll see if it's still rotating. It's very broad, but that rotation right along Highway 20 southwest of Fort Dodge, we'll see if that is able to tighten. Thankfully for right now, it's broad rotation, but it's possible that we could still see damaging wind gusts and some hail. This is that pink color that you see. Embedded in that purple is 1 inch in diameter hail. That storm is moving off to the north and east, and then we have that storm up towards Algona that's moving through. There's the Algona storm, which is kind of consolidating with this main batch that moved through Pocahontas and Humboldt counties. And any other reports?
Again, with the storm up in Algona, they've seen reports of upwards of 1 1/4 inch sized hail. But the average size that they've seen is about 3/4 of an inch of hail with that storm in Algona. So in addition to the strong winds that you mentioned, gusting to about 70 miles per hour, hail also a big concern with that storm.
Okay, so this is indicating on the east side of Algona, right along Highway 18, east of Highway 169, we might be seeing 2 inch in diameter hail there. And then the storms that are off to the east, let me regroup here, the storms off to the east that we've been seeing, well, just a lot of lightning, but we're also seeing the possibility of some large hail with that tornado-warned storm that's moving northeast of Eagle Grove and Goldfield. You are under that tornado warning. Clarion as well, Belmont too, but most of that staying just off to your north, and that is some large hail that's being picked up in that area of white that you see here. That's probably 3 inch in diameter hail, and maybe not quite that large since temperatures are so warm it may be melting by the time it gets to the ground. But 3 inch in diameter hail or up to 3 inch in diameter hail is possible with some of these thunderstorms as they move through. And a big area of shear, a big area of powerful winds right in the core of those velocities that you see, or the reflectivity, those blacks. That's where you have that hail, and that's where you start to see that little bit of a hook reappear. along Highway 17 as it moves off to the northeast. Anything else, Ann?
Not at this point in time. Just still some reports of hail on Highway 20, just pea-sized hail. And just a note too, I don't know if that's, okay, so that's Algona. Evan said his camera was pointed from the storm chaser towards Fort Dodge. Yes, so that's Algona, so that's not where Evan is obviously, but that's the storm, that's severe thunderstorm that is warned up in Algona. Again, that does include Algona. That goes, I believe, until 8 o'clock tonight. So there's been strong wind gusts with that cell, specifically upwards of about 70 miles per hour, and also large size hail with that cell as well. So that warning will continue for about the next 30 minutes or so. So we've got that warning, Chris, and then again, still the severe thunderstorm warning closer down towards Fort Dodge.
Okay. And we'll take you into that storm again. That is now east of Humboldt. There's Renwick right there, and Corwith. Corwith is under that hail core, so some large hail likely falling there as it moves through. And then to the north, you can see near Britt, we have some of those black colors. That's where we have even larger hail as it moves off to the northeast near Gardner and Highway 18. Not officially under the warning just yet, but we soon will be under that warning as it continues to move to the northeast. But that storm near Fort Dodge, we're still keeping an eye on it. Thankfully, it's behaving for now. It's still producing some gusty winds and some hail, but you see the velocity doesn't look as significant as those other storms that we've been watching. A lot of lightning, certainly some damaging wind gusts. There's the west side of Fort Dodge. That will be a big blast of wind that will move through as it moves off to the east-northeast. So be prepared for that, because the strongest winds from this thunderstorm will pass right over Fort Dodge as it moves through. The language of that severe thunderstorm warning says 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail, and the possibility of a tornado. So even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning, it is still possible that with the environment that we have in place, that one could certainly spin up. And that's a mean-looking structure to that storm up towards Algona. We'll take you out to the larger view, show you the storms that are moving into the western parts of Iowa. This is that line, and look at that, we do have tornado warnings out towards Lincoln, Nebraska. As that line moves east, it is within the possibilities, realm of possibilities that we could see tornado warnings along that line too. But that storm in Algona that you can see on our Skycam that's moving off to the north and east, I mean, you can actually see, look at the American flag, Old Glory, and then to the south, to the left of that, bottom left, you see that storm, the inflow coming into it, and that is where we have that hail core. That is a wicked signature. And we have hail, we have damaging winds all wrapped around that center, now east side of Algona, as it continues to lift off to the north and east. Ann, anything else?
I don't believe so. Nothing new here, at least from the Iowa side of things.
Okay. Any of our field crews out and about? Okay. Hopefully we can get a view from Chaser. But there's the Fort Dodge storm. Evan, what are you seeing?
We just got back on Highway 3 east of Humboldt, and we're heading over towards Goldfield, and we're going to try to get ahead of that Fort Dodge storm. Just some light rain right now. We had a little bit of some wind gusts earlier, but right now we're just trying to get ahead of that Fort Dodge storm. My camera is pointing. Okay, so this is pointing towards the south, towards Fort Dodge, and then off towards the north, a much more ominous sky, and that's the Algona system, or the Algona storm up there.
Wow. Thank you, Evan.
I'm going to zoom in on that. And just real ominous looking sky right now.
Okay, so we still have, we're back to a confirmed tornado with that storm near Clarion.
What's the location on that?
15 miles north of Clarion. 15 miles north of Clarion.
Okay.
So that too is a confirmed tornado that's moving through portions of Wright County. And there's the storm right here, and there's that new update to the warning. Let's see, we'll take you in. Again, not the best signature on radar, but there's Denhart. That's one of the areas that we're seeing that strongest rotation. There's Corwith. But this, again, a confirmed tornado as it lifts off to the north and east. Check the velocity scan and see the wind speeds, and there it is. That's continuing to move off to the east. So we're back to seeing, I believe this is just crossed over into Hancock County, the worst of that circulation. But if you live in northern parts of Wright County, I still want you to be on the lowest level of your home. But if you live in places like Renwick, if you live in Humboldt, if you live in Livermore, it is now safe to leave your safe place. Algona now had an inch and a quarter diameter hail with that thunderstorm. So that was the area that we showed you on the east side of Algona with hail. And what else are you?
I just I pulled up the hail tracker product that we have here. So yeah, this is on Max 2, if you could, Weather 2. You can see that here behind me. So just where Chris was mentioning Corwith, this hail tracker indicating a good bit of hail from, say, Britt down through Corwith. This is just to the south of Highway 18 and just to the east there of Wesley. So lots of the reports that we've seen with these cells here tonight have had significant hail with them. And then I want to just kind of move over to the west here, closer towards Algona, where we have that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is just the hail tracker product that we have here on this system. So also indicating a good bit of hail just to the northeast of downtown Algona. So that would be just to the east here of Highway 169, really just between Highway 169 and Highway 18, where those kind of intersect there. So again, significant hail with a lot of these cells. I think up in Algona we saw hail upwards of 1.25 inches there. So we'll take you back to, we'll go to the shear tracker here just to see if we've got any, and this will just need one quick moment to catch up here, any more signs of rotation. We just have this little wedge left of that tornado warning here. Again, just to the east of Algona, and actually they just expanded that tornado warning, I believe. So you see that red box popping up here, that is a continuation of that warning. So this is moving closer towards the Mason City area. Garner now included in this tornado warning here, and portions of I-35 here. So this is just to the north of Belmond. Garner included in that warning now, and I'll have to zoom in just a little bit more to get some more cities to pop up here. Britt along Highway 18 included in this tornado warning as you head down towards Goodell, also included in this tornado warning here. So I'm just going to back this out just a little bit so you get a better idea of where you can see this tornado warning. This is doesn't include Mason City, and we know they're not in our viewing area, but it does include Thornton. Again, down towards Gardner, Goodell, right along, I believe that's Highway 18. Clear Lake, not in the polygon, but if you're just to the west of Clear Lake, Garner, Goodell, Britt, all included in that new tornado warning here. So we'll see if we can get any kind of rotation. And you see this little purple dot that's popping up here. So that's indication that maybe there is some rotation within this cell. This is pretty close to the Clear Lake area. So if you live in Clear Lake, want to be in the lowest level of your house if you can right now, out towards Gardner, also included in this tornado warning, as well as Thornton. I think we have Storm Chaser, so we can just take a quick look at where they are.
Wow.
Storm Chaser is pointed towards the north right now. Towards Kanawha. We are pointing. That camera's pointed. The camera shot is pointing towards Kanawha, and we are on Highway 3, just west of Clarion.
And that's where we have the confirmed tornado on the ground. Evan, is that what you're seeing? I'm just trying to make sure that isn't scud. Yeah, no, that looks like a...
I think that's... Yeah, I think we're looking at scud right there. Let me zoom in and see if I can tighten this picture a little bit. I think we're looking at scud on that, because that's the storm towards Kanawha, and then straight ahead of us is Clarion. If you want to make the left turn. And we're at the corner of Iowa 17 and Iowa 3. And just on the border of Wright County and Humboldt County. We can keep going north for a while.
And that is the area of rotation. Kanawha, that just north of there. It looked like it was scud. It didn't look like it was rotating, that appendage that was hanging down from the cloud. But you can see that area of rotation, which is quite strong. You can see it just north of town there. And Evan was right at that intersection where my finger's pointed. So that is what that's where he was located. That's where he is looking. Again, that does not appear to be, even though it looks like it may be a funnel cloud, that appears to be some scud. Evan, if you can pan back to the left a little bit. Okay, it also looks like more scud out of that thunderstorm. So, and are we getting any other reports?
Let me double check here. I was just pulling up a similar product over here, the shear tracker, Kanawha, indicating where that camera was pointed, where Evan was, seeing some rotation there. So let me just double check here with the chat. They are, I believe there was just another severe thunderstorm warning issued for Hancock, Winnebago, and Worth counties. So that's a little bit further north, just to the east there of Algona, where you see this polygon popping up here, that yellow blinking. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning into extreme northern Iowa there. So we've got the tornado warning just pushing into Kanawha, or at least the potential of the tornado, the rotation there. You're pretty much under the gun if you're in Kanawha. So be in your safe place. Again, Corwith also still included in that tornado warning, so you need to stay in your safe place as well. And if this line, or if this storm continues on its path, it's going to continue to move off to the north and to the east. So places like Gardner would be next in line for this. Clear Lake, you are also right on the edge of that polygon here, and you should be in your safe place as well. So I'll zoom back out here. We see this little purple dot, that's Clear Lake. And our product here indicating that there could be some potential rotation out near the Clear Lake area. But again, Gardner, just to need to be in your safe place as well. Thornton, Goodell, Kanawha also all included in that tornado warning. So this sign, or this cell, again, still exhibiting signs of rotation here as it moves off to the north and to the east. I'll switch it back to the radar reflectivity here, and you can just kind of see lots of rain, as we've been hearing from our crews that are out in the field, heavy rain, and again, some intense hail as well with a lot of these storms, especially with the one near Algona. If we put on, I just want to see, I'll check the latest hail tracker here. If we can switch over, there we go. So again, you can see kind of these blimps that show up here, the blues indicating bigger hail that's probably being dropped right now just to the east of Algona here. This is just to the west of Gardner. So if you're in the Britt area, Corwith, Kanawha, all probably seeing decent sized hail as this cell pushes off to the north and to the east. So again, places next in line would be Clear Lake, out towards Mason City, and eventually places that continue off into the north and to the east. So we'll take it back to the radar reflectivity here for you, and I'll just kind of zoom out again, just to give you another look here of kind of everything we're looking at. So the main line of storms still back to our west. That's what we've got to watch for later on tonight. But we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning, it looks like, or maybe that had been issued, but out towards the Storm Lake area, including Storm Lake now, severe thunderstorm warning, also out towards Ida Grove here. in Ida County. But I think if we go back to the chaser, we'll take a look at the other storm that we were watching, the tornado warn storm out towards Kanawha. If we want to take that, if we can see that vantage point as well, that would be great.
You're live. Okay.
Evan, you've got eyes on this storm. What do you got out there?
We are just south of Renwick right now.
Okay.
And we are currently on Highway 17. And the winds have increased. We're getting a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning. And it looks a lot darker than what the camera's actually showing right now. It's really dark out here right now. Like I said, the winds have been increasing. No hail, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, but we're taking things really slow because with these rain-wrapped storms, we don't want to just back right into a rain-wrapped tornado, so we're being very careful out here.
Good for you guys. That makes sense. Again, you saw some of that lightning there on the right side of your screen. And then we've got, and you're heading, I'm sorry, which direction are you heading in, Evan?
We're heading north, and I'm not gonna. Our internet is not really working really good right now. So if you guys can give me an update on if are they showing a confirmed tornado east of Renwick, or are we Doppler radar indicated right now?
I believe
Confirmed tornado.
Confirmed tornado. Okay. Because we're right on the border of Humboldt County and Wright County.
And we've also got a confirmed report now, I'm just reading this, of golf ball size hail in Kanawha.
And this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for that storm that's lifting to the north and east now, and that is moving out of Webster County into Humboldt and Wright County. Let me just get a forward speed and I'll put a track on that storm, because it is, again, a possible tornado. And that is moving at 40 miles per hour. So if we can take the radar, we'll track this new severe thunderstorm warning that is up just north of Fort Dodge. That thunderstorm is continuing its trek north. Still a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, possibility of a tornado because we still have some rotation that's evident on the radar signature into Holmes, into Hardy, Renwick again, Livermore, and then eventually into Laverne and into Hannah. That's anywhere from now to, looking at the wrong reference monitor. So there you go. You can see the list of arrival times a little bit clearer here as I move it out of the way. There's Holmes, Hardy, Arnold, Renwick, Drew, Livermore, Laverne, and Hannah. This is a dangerous storm. We are seeing the possibility of 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that's moving off to the north and east. Thankfully, though, for our immediate area, that tornado threat is decreasing for the moment as that main line continues to move in from the west. Still right over the Missouri River Valley, it's continuing its trek east, but all of these storms have warnings that are for winds up to 70 miles per hour. When that moves into the area, that will prompt, in some cases, the tornado sirens to go off, and it gets here by bedtime. So a lot of people, I'm sure, will be asleep as that moves through. But Ann, you're kind of looking at that storm. It is moving out of our area, heading towards the Mason City area.
Right. So, eventually that's going to be out of our viewing area, but if you're in the Mason City area, you know people that are there, definitely want to take shelter through the probably next 30 minutes or so. But again, Gardner, Kanawha, again, we've gotten reports there of, I believe, golf ball sized hail in that community. Britt, you're not included in that tornado warning as of right now, but if you're in Kanawha, Goodell, up towards Gardner, Clear Lake, you're right on the edge of this tornado warn storm. So better just to be safe than sorry, and to head to your safe place as well. Clear Lake, just right here, basically, where my finger is. So you're right on the edge of that storm. So again, strong wind gusts. We'll put the hail tracker back on here, and again, still coming up with decent signatures here for Kanawha, Britt, moving closer towards the Gardner area with that hail. Again, potentially upwards of maybe an inch and a half sized hail with this cell. So let's see, we got hail size here indicated, just over an inch with that darker blue color that you see on the map here. So that's kind of been the name of the game here tonight with these cells. A lot of rotation, again, rain-wrapped tornadoes, so it's hard for you to see them. So don't go to your windows if you're in under one of these tornado warnings. Don't try to find the tornado. Just take our word for it and be in your safe place here as this storm continues to move off to the north and to the east here. So we still have that one tornado warning up to the north, and then if we zoom out here a little bit further, lots of severe thunderstorm warnings, again, one including Fort Dodge, but then that line of storms back into eastern Nebraska and eventually pushing into western portions of Iowa here. That's what we'll need to be watching next here as these storms in northern Iowa kind of push out of our area. But numerous severe thunderstorm warnings here. We'll bring back, let's see if we got anything on our shear tracker product here. Again, this is just kind of indicating some rotation that it could be picking up from these cells. So again, Kanawha right under the gun with the potential rotation, and that's going to be moving near the Gardner area over the next 5-10 minutes here. Gardner, Clear Lake, Thornton, Goodell all need to be in your safe place as we go into the next 20 minutes or so. So that's going to continue to push off to the north and to the east, and that's kind of the motion that we've seen on a lot of these storms today, moving quickly at 50, maybe 60 miles per hour off to the north and to the east. We'll go ahead and put radar back on here unless Chris wants to, you got any? James, okay, we've got a video here, or not video, but live footage here of James. Oh, Storm Chaser, I apologize. So
Evan,
this is
let's go to
Evan. So this is Evan.
Ooh, that was a good one. Okay, we are, let me get the update. We're just north of Renwick. We just passed through Renwick. Good news on that front. No damage that we saw. The only bad news is no electricity, no power there. And we are just due west of the storm, or of the tornado that we were mentioning. We're coming up on Denhart. And that's the storm that we're showing here off towards the right, but it's all rain wrapped and we are losing daylight.
And Denhart is included in that tornado warning there, along with Kanawha. So
yeah, okay. Kanawha. Okay, so here's the storm off toward. Let me adjust the camera, and that's the area where we're looking at. And this is off towards Kanawha and Denhart. Nothing to report other than that right now. Just a little bit of heavy rain and wind, and as you just saw, we had frequent cloud to ground lightning. But fortunately, no damage that we've come across here along Highway 17, just to the north of Renwick.
All right, so that is Evan Bunkers, who is on that storm that is now moving into portions of Hancock County. We'll go to James Stratton and his live picture. You can see very ominous looking sky, some lightning there with that thunderstorm that's moving through. That is looking down towards Fort Dodge. So that is the thunderstorm that prompted the new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Humboldt County. And that is the storm that's moving off to the north and east. It's possible that that storm could pack winds of 60 miles per hour, 1 inch in diameter hail, and it may produce a tornado. You just saw that live cloud to ground lightning strike with that storm that moved through. That is moving towards Humboldt County out of Webster County. Again, that is just looking at the storm that is in Fort Dodge, lifting to the north and northeast. Thankfully, the active tornado warnings that we have are now moving out towards Mason City. Obviously, that is bad news for them, good news for us because we're getting a little bit of a respite. And at 8 o'clock at the top of the hour, we will be tossing back to regularly scheduled programming. We just want to do a little bit of a scene setter here, show you the storms that we are tracking. The shot that James had was this storm that's been moving off to the north and east about 40-45 miles per hour. Renwick, this is round 2 for you. Livermore into St. Joseph, into Belmont, and again into Hannah. This storm is moving to the north and east, and it's possible, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, inch in diameter hail, and the possibility of a tornado if that rotation tries to tighten up. You can see a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning still a long ways away from these storms, and that's why we tell you, if you hear thunder, get inside, because lightning can strike, and they can strike outside of thunderstorms by several miles, and that's what we're seeing in this case. A little bit farther to the west, we'll clear this off. This is the primary line. This is the line that we had the highest confidence in developing out towards the Missouri River Valley, which is now, it looks like Pottawatomie County may be under that tornado warning just north of Omaha, moving over the Missouri River. This is just a line of thunderstorms that is breaking out and moving east. That is a lot of lightning. That is a lot of wind, probably, with this line that moves through. As it progresses, we'll give updates. We won't go necessarily wall to wall, but we will give communities a heads up as these storms move in, because some of them are producing winds of 70 miles per hour, and that's the magic number, so to speak, when it comes to prompting the county OEM, Office of Emergency Management. That's when they sound the sirens, usually when those winds get up to about 70 miles per hour. That is what we're seeing with this line that is propagating off to the east. Again, this line of thunderstorms is still several hours away from the metro area if it holds together. We've been saying once it gets to Interstate 35 points east, less of a severe weather threat, but that is consolidating it into a line of thunderstorms that's moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. Put a track on it, well, we'll play it out, and you can see that forward speed, the ton of lightning that we're having out ahead of it, and these warnings that are going well out ahead of it as well, giving people ample lead time before that storm does move into your community. Storm Lake, you're already in it. This is another round for you as it moves through. We are seeing kind of an uptick in power outages. This is to the northwest of Storm Lake. There's Cherokee along Highway 59, eventually into Wall Lake and Sac City. Non-tornadic thunderstorms, but severe thunderstorms that are moving off to the east and southeast. One more look up towards northern portions of Kossuth County. That's moving eventually over the Minnesota state line. Hail is possible with that near Ledyard as it continues to move to the north and east. This is the storm heading towards Mason City. The storm leaving and moving north out of Fort Dodge, heading up towards Wright and Humboldt counties for round 2. Not tornadic right now, but we are watching it closely as it moves off to the north and east. Again, we will be going back to programming at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock, so you don't miss your evening programming. But this is another interesting development. This is now a confirmed tornado just north of Omaha. So this line is still producing tornadoes along that main primary threat of damaging wind gusts as it continues to move off to the east. And I'll just ask you, are you seeing anything else?
Not at this moment. We just had one report back with the storm near Kanawha. Reports of some dime-sized hail in the Garner neighborhood. So that's the one latest update that we have with that storm. But as Chris mentioned, that line of storms that he just pointed out there is kind of what we're waiting for here in the metro area. But we'll, of course, keep a close eye on all of these cells that are moving into northern and north central portions of Iowa at this point in time. And for our area, again, that tornado warning now moving into the Mason County area as we speak. But I'll just zoom out here my screen and you can see how expansive this line of storms here. That's moving along the cold front that comes in here through the next couple of hours. So again, main threats with that will be some wind damage, but embedded tornado potential there will stick with us through the evening hours tonight, Chris.
Yeah, and just again, we'll toss back to programming coming up. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is up for most of the metro area, and that watch is in effect. Unfortunately, it's not doing a query for me, but that watch is in effect until just after, I think, 10 o'clock this evening, 1 o'clock in the morning, excuse me, for our metro area, and then that tornado watch is up until 10 o'clock this evening. So again, we have the severe thunderstorm watch up until 1 o'clock in the morning. The tornado watch is up until 10 o'clock in the evening. We'll continue to give you updates throughout the evening. Again, we have active warnings in the northern part of our area, but for now the metro area is quiet, and that will probably be the case for the next several hours. Make sure you stay with KCCI and make sure you download our app in the meantime. Until then, we're going to send you back to regularly scheduled programming.